guys, we are in the midst of graduation season over here. I do know that by the time you guys see this, maybe not so much, but there's still going to be a lot of open houses. And I thought that this would be a cute one and something a little different than the regular like grad hats and all of that kind of stuff. And we're still doing a little bit of humor over here also. So we're going to throw a little bit of humor on the inside of the card. And not just on the outside all of the time, because remember, we can still do fun stuff on the inside of our cards too. All right, we are using the Streamers die from Brass and Bliss. This is a super good one. Yes, little pieces. Technically, you don't have to use them, but to make them pop a little bit more, I do recommend it. I am showing you, even though it looks like I forgot to turn on my lights on this one. I'm so sorry. That middle streamer right there is one that I did take the darker version of orange and the lighter version of orange and put them together. There we go. We turned on the lights. The other ones I did not do it to, so you could kind of see that yes, the shadow portions are there for you, but also if you're not a fan of all the fussy pieces, you don't have to do it. All right, so this card was for one of my nephews. They did graduate, I should say. And their colors were orange and black, but I did use a little bit of silver here to spritz up the card and make it a little bit more flashy. We're going to be using our Congrats die also for this one, and our humor birthday set actually. In my last video that we did the unicorns, or maybe my next video that I'm doing the unicorns, I'm not sure on how it will be scheduled out. I talked about this birthday humor set. It's such a great set. I think that we often forget, as in-house or handmade cards, that we can do funny cards also. They don't all have to be serious, or they don't all have to be, just happy birthday or the generic ones. Definitely, use your humor too. When I was selling a few of my Mother's Day cards at a craft market, so many people picked the cards that had the inside saying, "Thanks, Mom, for not getting rid of me during my teen years." And that was a set by Brass and Bliss. And I just found it pretty funny how a lot of people did choose that one, and not the very, sentimenty Mother's Day cards. So, all right, here we are going to use our Congrats die. I was trying to figure out what colors I kind of wanted to go with. I did go with orange on top, and I believe black. Where's the card? Black underneath, I believe, is what I chose. I had the card right around here. No, I can't find it. Usually I will pop these up 2 and 3 times. I don't think I even did that this one, mainly because I already have dies on this card, and I am overlapping them a bit. So I chose not to, I believe. If I did, looks like I did. I did 2. So I didn't do 3 layers. I did 2 layers. Again, I usually do 3, but because I was already putting it on top of the streamer dies, I didn't want to get too thick. This card I am delivering in person, so I didn't have to worry about postage or anything. But generally right now, with the cost of postage going through the roof, and generally the thicker your cards, the more chances of them not getting there, unfortunately, right now. I am trying to be pretty aware of how thick my cards are at this point, but this one I am delivering in person, so I didn't have to worry about too much of that. All right, so we are gluing this. For some reason, my fingers just really weren't working today. Normally, I don't have as much trouble putting these two together. This is really not that finicky of a die. It's pretty thick, but for some reason, my fingers... I'd been doing a lot of cards this day, so... Lots of graduation cards. We are in the midst of myself, a lot of my friends, and my family are in that age group of children right now that everybody is graduating. So I actually this morning just knocked out 10 different, not 10 different, 10, I mass produced 10 cards, graduation cards this morning. So lots of cards going out for graduation right now. All right, yes, so I did do the black. I wanted to make that orange pop. Their colors are black and orange, so it worked out perfect. No problems. I think I have the most issues when school colors are like red and white. And I'm like, is there a third color? Because I need a third. So usually when there's not a third color, I'll add in like gold or silver, whatever matches the colors the best. But generally I do need that third color to make graduation cards pop a little bit. I love how this looked, and it was giving me kind of Halloween vibes. And for us content creators, Halloween is literally around the corner for us. So because we are usually doing products for our beloved product makers, 2 and 3 months ahead of schedule, I was like, oh, Halloween is coming. So I was like, it's coming. All right, this is one of our newer graduation stamp sets that came out just I think in January. And I knew this would be a staple. I make a lot of graduation cards. So I got this one out. I was trying to decide on how I wanted this to go, and I decided on just a little one. Don't forget about all those little stamps in your sets. Oh, and here I am trying to figure out how I'm going to do that. And I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm going to put it on the inside. Again, this was for my nephews, and they are all about getting out of school, of course. I mean, which senior isn't? But I always tell them, don't be too heisty on wanting to grow up. And sometimes they get it, and sometimes they don't. My son is all about not wanting to grow up, and he graduated last year, and he's like, yeah, this isn't, what it's all cracked up to be. Bills suck. Yes, and they do. All right, so we're going to put that into our Misty. And I believe congrats. I think we use, again, I wish I could find my card. I don't know where I ended up putting it. I think I put congrats to the grad. Let's see what I do. On your graduation. Yes. So we put congrats on your graduation right there. And it's a nice, simple card on the front. You get your school colors. We get the graduation part of it. And then we will move to the inside. So not all cards that you want to be funny have to be funny on the outside. So my last card, I did a funny on the outside card. But this one can still be, your nice, elegant graduation card with a little message on the inside about don't grow up too early. So having your Misty there is so important for placement, guys. I don't know how people did it before the Misties. I swear, I will say that every time. What am I doing here? Am I doing a card base? What are we doing here? Oh, yes, I am doing a card base. So I am doing an easel card base here. And I am doing black. My sentiment is white. You can always back your card with white on the inside if you would like a black card base. For me, I have white gel pens, so I will just write with a white gel pen on the inside of this. And the measurements for this easel card, which I did a little differently, and I probably will go back to my other way, but we will fold at, we will score at 4 1/4, or actually this one, I'm sorry, 5 1/2 for your fold. And then you've seen I went 2.5 inches down. Usually I do 3.5 inches down. But I did it a little differently on this one. I would go back to the 3.5 inches. I don't feel like it stood up as much. And yeah, I definitely wanted it to stand up a bit more. All right, we did this was cut down to 4 by 5 1/4. There we go. for that little bit of frame around. I put it on a black cardstock on the back with my Barely Arts glue, trying to make sure that I had all those corners good. And let that settle in. And then you just glue it to the bottom half of the card base. Do not glue it to the top part. That's the part that will disconnect from the card and let it stand up. So here you're going to see me just glue it to that bottom half. And again, like I said, I would have probably went down 1 more inch again. So do your score at 3.5. You can do it wherever you would like, but I thought at one point that I wanted it to lay down just a little bit more, but, and all in all, you'll see in the pictures that it looks fine, but I was trying to get it to be a little bit more sturdy. All right, so what you need next for the easel card is a sentiment on the inside that will catch the card and allow it to stand. So, which is perfect for this stamp set, because this stamp set does not have dies. Oh, look at me being so good and putting my stamps back. This stamp set does not have dies. I wish that it would, but it is meant to do, you know, like the inside of the card, and you know, you don't always need dies, but I love dies for just about everything. But go through and use your nested dies. So you're going to see me, and this is how we get more use out of things that we already have in our stash. Go through your nested dies. I believe I just took a scalloped rectangle one. I'll show it here in a minute, I know. This is going to be wrong too. I didn't think about having to cut it out and be even around the sides. So that placement is going to be wrong. I don't know if I show, I probably do, me stamping it again, but that was before I was just like, oh yeah, duh, I needed to get that out. Go through your stash, like I said, and get those rectangle die. So here I use the rectangle nested scalloped edge, and I just chose like either the smallest or the one right before the smallest one. In that, like I said, I use my nested dies, the small ones, all the time. I know a lot of people are always like, I never use the small ones. I use the small ones quite often for cutting out sentiments that don't have dies a lot. I did cut out 2. You do want to make this sturdy. A lot of people don't pop them up. I do use a pretty low foam tape to pop them up, just so that the card doesn't slip. But yes, I did use 2 to make this nice and stable, because like I said, your card does rest on this. So you'll see me use my glue a lot, because I use to like flatten out and get my glue to here, because I use the VersaFine Black Onyx ink, and it is a pigment ink and doesn't dry right away. So here you go. So now I use my foam, figure out my placement here to where the card, I have been starting to do a ton of easel cards for my bases anymore, because I was getting a lot of people being like, oh, I love to display your cards, but sometimes they don't stand up all the way, or they get knocked down. And this is a great way for people to display your cards. So there you go. You can see that card rests right there. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I will see you in the next one.